This is Dr. Anderson with North Texas Plastic Surgery, and we're going to talk about designing your surgical plan after you've lost a bunch of weight. When I think about all the folks that come to see me who have lost a bunch of weight, every single person is different and their priorities are different. So what's very important to me is chatting with you so we can figure out what those priorities are so that we can design the right surgical plan for you. That weight just comes off different on everybody. So when I'm talking to folks, they may say, you know, they carried a ton of weight in their arms and the arms are number one priority. Some people it's tummy, some people it's legs, whatever it may be. So we're going to talk about that and we'll figure out what's right for you. When thinking about the procedures that are available, I think generally in 4 different kind of body area groupings: breast, torso, arms, legs. So let's start with breast. Most folks will feel like there's less volume than they want, and probably that things are lower than they want. So if a breast is lower than we want, we're gonna start talking about some version of breast lift or mastopexy. For those of you that still feel like the breasts are too big, we think breast lift, breast reduction. Simple, done. If you feel like you don't have enough volume and we want more volume, we're most likely going to talk about breast lift and breast augmentation with an implant. So not everybody wants an implant though, and they want to try and maintain as much volume as possible. So if we're not doing an implant, we're going to try to keep all the volume we have, but by definition, I have to take away some tissue, some skin to make that breast lift happen. If we want to have just a tiny bit more volume than that, we can possibly talk about fat transfer. But I will tell you the likelihood that fat transfer is going to be a great procedure for you is a little bit less because it's a little bit unpredictable. But we will go through that and figure out if you're the right person. Specifically for those folks that are thinking that direction, if we're really wanting volume here, cleavage up high and in the middle, fat's not going to reliably do that. So we'll probably shift our conversation more towards breast implant surgery. Now, there's also a group of folks that have had enough drooping that want an implant, that doing the implant and the lift at the same time is going to not be the safe bet if we're trying to keep your nipple alive, which we obviously are. So there's a small group of folks that we're going to need to do a breast lift, and then we can come back later on and do the augmentation if you're still desiring that. The easiest way to kind of figure out if you might be in that group is if you take a tape measure at home and you measure from between your clavicles, we call that your sternal notch, to where your nipple lives. If it's more than 27 centimeters, we may start thinking that to optimize your result and your nipple health, that we may want to do 2 surgeries. Trust me, I don't want to do 2 surgeries, but if we have to, we have to. That's kind of our smorgasbord of breast surgeries. Let's transition to arms because that one's a little bit easier of a topic. So most folks that have lost a bunch of weight are gonna feel like they have excess skin all the way down to the elbow. So then we're gonna do what's called a longitudinal brachioplasty or an arm lift that has the scar that goes between your bicep and your tricep on the inside portion of your arm. So it's hidden when your arms are at their side, to remove that excess skin and get your arm tightened up. Now, if you're also in the subset of patients where that arm skin feels like it's extra going all the way across your armpit down onto your chest, then we will do what's called an extended brachioplasty, so I can take out more skin to help get that chest wall tightened up as well. So after we've talked about arms and breasts, that naturally moves us into torso. So most folks with lots of weight loss are going to want to talk to me about some version of skin removal to the torso. If we've lost that weight almost certainly we're gonna end up in at least the extended tummy tuck version of folks. The reason we're probably going to rule out a standard tummy tuck is standard tummy tuck really we think of going hip to hip. But if we've lost a bunch of weight, we're gonna have loose skin out to our sides that's gonna need to get taken care of. If you don't take care of that extra skin, we're gonna end up boxy in the hips. And I still, to this day, have never had a woman tell me she wants to have boxy hips. And then I do this stupid joke where I say somebody's gonna tell me that one day and I'm gonna fall out of my chair. Anyways, so at least extended tummy tuck because we need to get that extra skin at the side so we can get the silhouette that people are trying to accomplish of narrow waist, curviness in the hips. But we're talking about people that have lost a lot of weight. We're talking about people that have a lot of extra skin. It's much more common in this subset of patients to then also start talking about a lower body lift. Who are the people where we transition from the conversation from extended tummy tuck to lower body lift? There's a couple of things that will move us in that direction. One of the easy tests to do at home is if you're kind of looking at your backside in the mirror and you pinch right above the middle of your butt and you have pinchable skin that you can move up and down, that's telling us that we have all extra skin all the way around. Body lift is going to help remove that extra skin so that we can be tightened up all the way around. The other thing that people will notice is that their booty has fallen down as that weight has come off as well. So if you feel like the butt has sagged a bunch, taking skin all the way around, like it kind of pulls the tummy down from the front, pulls the butt up from the back. So those are a couple things that we can look at to determine if we're transitioning from extended tummy tuck to lower body lift. We've talked about arms, we talked about breasts, we talked about body. That leaves us legs. So leg conversation is very similar to arm conversation, except there's really kind of one version that we're probably going to fall into, and that's the longitudinal thigh lift, meaning scar that goes from your knee up to your groin that makes kind of a curve where your leg hits your torso. That allows me to get both around skin looseness and up and down skin looseness to be removed most efficiently for you. A lot of folks don't necessarily, they think they don't want the scar, which you don't want the scar, I get that, nobody wants scars, but they'll say to me, what about a groin thigh lift? Groin thigh lift, you can pull as hard as you want, but realistically over time, only the top third of the thigh will get treated with a groin crease thigh lift. And most folks that have had all this weight loss have looseness in the second and the thirds of the leg, meaning down toward the knee. So if you're loose toward your knee, a groin crease thigh lift just isn't gonna help, and then you're gonna end up having all this surgery and you're gonna result that you're not happy with. Longitudinal thigh lift for the vast majority of folks that are watching this video and interested in these topics is going to be the better of the options for you there. So a little nuance to a couple of those things that I mentioned way back at the beginning of this video. So we're not gonna do the skin removal to the torso and the thigh lift at the same time. Now, if we look really, really closely at results, which you should, you will notice there's always a slight improvement to the thighs with the skin removal to the torso. A lot of folks feel like that's enough, that they don't really, not that they don't care, but they're like, you know what, that was enough surgery. I don't really necessarily want to pursue my thighs anymore. In addition, if you do a thigh lift first and you put the scars exactly where they're supposed to be, and then you pull on them with the skin removal around the middle, it can potentially put scars somewhere that we don't want them. So I will generally encourage you, do torso skin removal before we do thighs. However, I'll also say if your thighs are your absolute number one priority and you just absolutely freaking hate them, we can do that first, just with the understanding that we may have scar migration, and we would try to do some things to optimize that for you so that it's not an issue. I have touched on this topic in previous videos, but I'll briefly go over it here, and then we can link to the other stuff if you want to look into it more fully. But we need to talk about staging surgery. So we talked about 4 body areas. We can't do all 4 of those body areas at the same time. That's just too much surgery, too much time under anesthesia, too much potential for blood loss. So I will tell folks, you can kind of pick 2 areas to work on, and we can come back later and do the rest. So we'll figure out what your priorities are and optimize so that we can do the fewest stages as possible, but also keeping you safe as possible. This has been Dr. Anderson with North Texas Plastic Surgery. If you liked this content, you can like, comment, and subscribe below.